Hi, I'm Susan Beattie, the author of Luke's Story and Luke's Adventure series. Some of you may be very familiar with Luke's African Safari. And in our story, Luke comes out here and he goes through and sees all the animals. And at that time, I'd like to introduce Patrick, because then he was with us on the tour. And he is a character in the book as one of the keepers. So Patrick, tell me now, because it's been a bit of time, what are you doing now at Lion Country?
First of all, great to see you again, Susan. Thanks so much for coming out today. So since our part in the book, I've been promoted to our guest service manager here at the park. So it's my pleasure to welcome our guests in. We offer a positive first impression and kind of get them started on the experience that we have here, the educational components, but of course, the fun that is able to be had here with a drive-through safari and walk-through adventure park as well.
And tell me, this is one of very few parks in the country, correct?
That's correct, yeah. There's only so many of these drive-through safari parks here in the States, and we were actually the first one. We opened in 1967, so it's been our pleasure to be in business for over 50 years now, and it's a very unique experience. It's like an authentic safari, but without having to travel overseas, and it's great for families and guests of all ages.
And just like I said in the last few segments that I've done, even at the Science Center, I came out as a child because I'm a native of Palm Beach County. Then my children, and now my grandchildren. So it's fun, and it's fun for me to have the opportunity to bring this to students and other people who would like to see what Lion Country does for the animals, because Luke's mission in life, and mine as well, is about rescue, rehabilitation, keeping animals healthy. So you're going to learn a lot as we go through. And I guess we'll go now. We're going on safari.
Have fun.
Okay. Hi, I'm here now with Haley, Public Relations Specialist, and Haley is going to be our guide today to take us through on safari. Haley, can you tell me just a little bit about, exactly what you're doing here in terms of, I know we met a couple years ago, and what is going on now at Lion Country Safari?
So we've been operating with our drive-through safari open. We're in the process of reopening our walk-through adventure park. Still have that exceptional standard of care for the animals and working towards that education and conservation of species.
Great. So we're going to go out now on safari, and Haley will be talking about some of the animals and their stories, which again, going back to Luke's African Safari, I did feature many of the animals here and their stories, their personalities. There was the giraffe, who had kind of the same personality that Luke has. So it's fun. Let's go. About Lancelot.
Yeah, so Lancelot is one of our oldest and I like to say original members of Lion Country Safari, since he's been here since 1969. We opened in 1967.
Wow.
He is estimated to be in his mid-90s, and he
my.
is give or take 700 pounds.
Wow.
So since he's been here with us for so long, he recognizes his keepers, he recognizes his staff members, and he actually really enjoys attention from them. So sometimes he'll even get up and carry his big 700-pound body over to the keepers to say hi, get a little scratch therapy. Since they do have feeling in their shells, they enjoy a little bit of scratching from the keepers. And he does have his favorite foods. He loves bananas and watermelon. So he gets kind of that extra attention and recognizes keepers, and is a little bit more outgoing than some of the other tortoises that we have here.
Oh. Hi.
This is our greater Kudu herd, so you'll see a lot of the females out here, and you'll see quite a few calves. So we just kind of finished a round of calving, and you'll see, you know, a lot of the Kudu calves look to be around the same size. So a lot of times they'll usually give birth within a few days of each other, which is good to kind of have all the babies born around the same time, keep an eye on everyone together. And what's really fascinating is after birth, a lot of these antelope species are able to kind of be up and moving within about an hour after they're born. So they're able to kind of be up and get up with the herd, keep up with the herd. If you look at the Kudu babies over here, they're kind of just migrating with everyone. So they're really mobile after birth. Sometimes they're even up and running after birth, which is amazing.
And they're native to?
They are native to Africa.
To Africa.
So they're one of the larger species of antelope, not the largest, but a good size to them. They're quick too. They can really kind of get up and be very agile. So they're also very alert. So even though these animals have been under our care, many of them, you know, at least here at Lion Country for their entire lives, you'll notice how alert they stay, and watch how their ears twitch and move as they're listening to different sounds around them. So they retain that really interesting kind of prey instinct to be wary of a lot of things. Did we have Gemsbok when you were here? Susan?
They're actually illustrated in my book.
Oh, perfect.
And tell me again, this is the...
Sure. So these are the Gemsbok species, and you'll see they've got that gorgeous kind of black and white mask coloring on their faces. And the one on the right is actually a calf that we had not too long ago. So we've got mom, baby, and then dad is actually across the field making his way over. So we've got these beautiful species.
Beautiful.
And they're native to the desert, so they're very comfortable in these hot African environments.
Beautiful face.
This is our Nile Lechwe herd. And Lechwe actually translates to antelope in one of the African languages. So they are literally an antelope from the Nile region. They're very comfortable in those watery, muddy environments. And they actually have widely splayed hooves that give them kind of better purchase or better running ability in those environments as well. So we've got quite a few calves that are starting to get a little bit older, a little bit bigger that you'll see, especially this one kind of towards the center walking with the rest of the herd. And these guys are actually really highly endangered. They're one of the most endangered species that we have here at Lion Country Safari. So it's great that you see the calves, and we're having this great reproductive success, which helps to support, obviously, not only our own population, but we participate in a lot of conservation and breeding programs in cooperation with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So this is essentially helping us to serve as a lifeboat, so to speak, to make sure that genetically viable and healthy species or individuals continue to exist under human care as wild populations are facing threats and maybe their species is declining. So it's really important that we have these healthy populations and we continue to see this reproductive success here under our care. So currently, we actually recently took over the care of 2 additional male lions, originally from the North Carolina Zoo. So we are in the process of introducing our 2 sets of males, Kawazi and his brother Masaba, and the other males, Boone and Vander, to each other. So you'll see a couple of the male lions over here on our right side.
And I wrote in the book about the lions living in prides, right? That's what Patrick had described, headed by 1 or 2 male lions, right? With many female lions and cubs.
So up front here we have Masaba, which is Kawazi's brother. And then we have one of the males that recently relocated from North Carolina Zoo. So we're taking turns giving them chances outside. So Kawazi is actually up with his new friend today in the house. But what we will get to see is we are going to go in and see Kawazi's offspring.
Oh, Kawazi is dad?
Kawazi is a dad now, which was so exciting for all of us.
That is amazing. And Kawazi's story was, as a cub, he didn't get enough nutrition from his mother, so he wasn't growing at a normal rate. It is best for a lion cub to stay with his or her mother, but he needed extra food, so he was trained to come inside an enclosure for a special formula fed to him by the keepers.
And currently in here we have our 3 adult females. Nyla, which is the mom of the cubs that are also Kawazi. So from a young age, she's kind of expressed, you know, being very, very much like her mom, doing everything her mom did, following her, everything she did. And her mom's been doing great too. You know, she was a great first-time mom and really good with coaching the kids on how to hunt and really kind of getting into it. So they would practice stalking, and anytime they would practice stalking on her, she'd act like they really caught her off guard, and she would leap into the air like she was so surprised. So it's really been great.
Just like the little kittens, right?
Absolutely.
How they're very playful.
So, and all the ants. And then if we go down here, you'll notice he's all by himself today.
Yes, he's not being very
but that's not unusual.
That's not.
Especially since as he gets a little older, he's going to get more used to the idea of being on his own, because in the wild, he would be kicked out of that pride by his father. So this is Atlas, and you can see he is just gorgeous. His mane is growing in, still very short and not very dark and still patchy. But his mane is starting to grow in, and he, even in this juvenile state, is just absolutely gorgeous, just like his father. You know, Kawazi is so majestic.
We love Kawazi.
We love Kawazi. I shouldn't have favorites, but he definitely is one of my favorites.
Is he one of your favorites?
He absolutely is. He is so beautiful. So Atlas, you know, is starting to grow up and be a little bit more independent. But this is a good example of the independent behavior that he's starting to express more as he's getting a little bit older.
Fascinating.
So we have a great lion care program. And we also participate in a number of lion conservation efforts. You know, continuing the breeding under human care for healthy populations. This is, of course, significant. But also supporting different lion conservation organizations like Lion Guardians, or being a member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Lion Safe program is also significant as well. So,
great.
I just love these guys. They're just beautiful and so majestic.
It's relaxing just to watch them, right?
And he's watching us too.
Yeah, look at this.
Sometimes
face.
you got to ask who's watching who.
Oh my goodness.
Sure.
So in Luke's African safari book, he and Greg are camping here, and he hears the lion roar in the night just before he falls asleep, and then he dreams he's in Africa saving the animals. If you remember that, right?
Which it's true. I mean, people that stay at the K-Way, our neighbors out here in
they
Loxahatchee,
hear the roar.
You can hear a lion roaring from 5 miles away. So these are scimitar horned oryx, which is a species of antelope native to the deserts in Africa. And what's really fascinating about these guys is they are actually currently listed as extinct in the wild. So the only populations that you'll find are ones that are somehow protected or managed by humans. So unfortunately, they were just facing a lot of threats in their native region and being hunted for their meat and their horns and their hides. Until the point where they just, went extinct in that area. So we still have these populations under human care, and we do have reproductive success with these animals as well.
Lion Country?
So Lion Country Safari is about 600 acres, and only about 320 of those are developed for the preserve and the drive-through and the walk-through park as well, which gives us the advantage of having these really great forested areas that act as a nice buffer. We're also a food source for the animals, so we'll take cuttings from trees and put them out for different animals as well. And having so much property makes that really sustainable for us as well. Right. We also will do a lot of cuttings from invasive plant species like the acacia or other plant species, so that'll help us actually manage these populations of invasive species as well here in Florida. All right, so actually, Lechwe's spot is Lissa over there, which I'm pretty sure you talked about.
Yes.
So let's see if we can get just a little bit closer to her.
Let me find where I wrote about Lissa. Okay, at that time in the book we go, he stops the truck close to a herd of rhinoceros and points at the rhino looking straight at us. She only has one horn instead of two. That's Lissa. She was born here many years ago. One day her keeper noticed something was wrong with the base of her horn. Our veterinarians were called to look at her. They found cancer, so her horn had to be surgically removed. She received medical care, and our animal keepers, the caretakers here, took special care of her. Now Lissa is cancer-free, thanks to the dedicated doctors and keepers who helped her. We think she's still beautiful. And then I think this is Luke thinking, I think she's beautiful too. I remember the kind doctors who helped me when I was a sick puppy. Rhinos are endangered. They are hunted in the wild for their horns. Their horns are made of keratin, which is the same protein found in our hair and fingernails. And this is Luke talking. He says, I don't understand why someone would hurt a rhino just to take their horns. Now this is fun because in the book I went on and it said on our left is the maternity ward. Our female white rhino is about to give birth any day now. And then in the book, Greg says, that's exciting. I hope it happens tonight. And Luke is thinking, I hope it does too. I'd like to see a baby rhino. So this is fun because then when Luke was dreaming, he was in Africa and helping save the animals. Then when he woke up here, the baby was born.
Yeah.
That's in the back of the book.
That's
I'll read that in a little bit. But yes, let's look at the zebras.
So we've got a zebra baby who actually was born on Christmas. So she's getting a little bigger, but she's still got a lot of that baby fuzz, which is so precious. Sorry.
And of course, I do have to bring up Little Mama because she, kind of stole my heart with her story, which is in the book, that she was forced to perform, I believe, in the Ice-Capades. And so then they did bring her here to live out her life, somewhat save her. Right? And Jane Goodall was keeping an eye on her through the years and would come out here.
She
Anything
came out
else
and actually gave us the estimation of her age because, we're pretty sure she was in the Ice-Capades, but, truly,
you don't know for sure.
We don't, especially her being, removed from Africa for that reason, for the pet trade or whatever, that record keeping back then when she was, young was really not there. So when she came here to live out the remainder of her days, in a natural, happy, free environment, we were kind of just going off of, what we had heard or the behaviors that we were seeing. And so we didn't know exactly how old she was. So Jane Goodall was actually the one that came out and was able to provide us an estimate of her age based on various physical characteristics like the condition of her teeth, and things of that nature. So about the time that she came out, she estimated Little Mama to be in her 30s, which was quite some time ago. And then, ultimately she ended up living into estimated, her 70s.
Her 70s,
which
right.
is,
right.
well geriatric by about 35, 40. So truly, truly phenomenal to see such longevity and such wonderful care for our chimpanzees.
And I did put in the book in loving memory of Little Mama because she did pass away of just old age, right? And I wrote a little thing about her here. I know that was sad for Lion Country because she was definitely a special chimpanzee and carried her little doll around with her.
She just had her way of just get into your heart and really connecting with and touching people. Just observing her and her mannerisms and just the way she acted, and she really was so special. All the animals are special, but she really, really stood out.
And we have giraffes here.
So we talked a little bit about having these forested buffer areas and taking tree cuttings. So this is a great example of how we hang browse up for the animals. So the keeper will cut and hang browse all throughout the day. The giraffes eat about 75 to 80 pounds of food a day.
Wow.
And then even after they're done eating the leaves, you'll see they're chewing on the sticks over here as well. They love, love, love to chew on the bark. So they'll chew that, and then even after they're done with that, the keeper will pull down the branch, replace it, but you'll leave it on the ground for them because the giraffes actually really like to walk through the sticks to scratch their legs for any itches that they can't reach by themselves. So it's really interesting how they just kind of make use of everything. But they'll eat all throughout the day. They'll eat for about 20 hours out of the day. You'll see they use their purple tongues to help them eat and grab branches and leaves.
And again here, I'll bring up that I wrote about Cupid. And Cupid was here for many years, right?
Yes.
Very sweet. And Cupid had the personality. This is Patrick saying, there's Cupid, one of our beloved giraffes. He was born on Valentine's Day and has a heart-shaped pattern on his neck. He has lived here for many years. Giraffes are usually shy, they don't like change, and they can be hard to train. But Cupid is different. He has a quirky personality and does anything the keepers ask. He takes his medications and even steps on a scale to have his weight checked. And Luke is saying, wow, I'm amazed even I don't know how to use a weight scale. And then sometimes Cupid annoys his keepers, Patrick says, he always is trying to help them. And then that can make it harder to accomplish anything. He wants all the attention. And then Greg laughs. That also sounds like Luke. He likes attention too, and that makes him a great door greeter at my store. So anyway, it goes on to talk a little bit, but Cupid also passed of an old age, right? Right? And that's something that is part of life. You all probably get very attached to the animals.
It's hard not to, you know, and again, these are wild animals. They're not our pets, but you know, in caring for these animals for years and years and years, you learn their quirks, their personalities, their characteristics, and you do become attached because these animals are so unique and so special, and we love all the animals out here, and it's hard to not connect with them, especially when you're working with them every day and you're learning those quirks.
Right.
So Cupid absolutely was, you know, phenomenal, special, touched so many lives, created so many experiences, and really was, you know, kind of a very special animal. This is one of our younger giraffe, Kimberlina.
Now I do again on Facebook follow when a baby is born. So you don't have, they're not little anymore.
They're not. So Kimberlina, I think she just turned 3.
You're so pretty.
She's 2 or 3.
Kimberly, did you say?
Kimberlina.
Kimberlina. What a pretty name.
So it's actually the name of a special flower, a special rose, I believe. And she's also named in honor of 2 of our giraffe kind of care team members. Kim was the keeper kind enough to give us some browse to feed them, and then the other Kim works very closely with their husbandry and medical training. And then I see Nina worrying over here.
Hi there. Wow.
Manny!
Look at the size of these giraffes. That is just amazing when you get up close, you know?
All right, Susan, if you want to take some of this browse and extend it out towards him, I'm sure he will, and wave it around a little bit. They do have color vision.
Hi.
And I'm sure he'll come over.
Hi. I have a treat. Hi. Oh my goodness. There.
So if you watch as he eats, again, he's got that beautiful purple tongue. Pull it right out of your hand.
That's okay.
And their tongue is also about 18 inches long and what we call prehensile. So you'll see he'll wrap it around and grab those sticks from you. So
can he do another one?
Feeding him, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe the other ones will be takers too. We'll see.
Come on. Let's get unbuckled here. Here. Oh my. Are you going to take it from me? Are you? Oh. Get a longer one. You're a little not so sure. You go. You go. Oh, not so sure, huh? So see, again, some are shy.
Right. And the females generally tend to be a little bit shyer. Males, again, a little bit more outgoing. Manny has no problem coming right over, especially if you have food.
Now, did he actually eat the stick?
They will chew on the stick, and that might even be something he'll save a little for later.
I don't know. I think he ate the stick.
He may have.
Oh.
So what they'll do is they'll actually partially chew the food.
Oh, nope, he dropped it.
He didn't drop it?
Yep, because he said, I see more greenery.
He's like, oh,
there.
let me get those leaves and I'll come back for the stick later.
Oh. So they eat, each one eats how many
They eat about 75 to 80 pounds of food a day.
One?
Each
Oh
full-grown
my
giraffe.
goodness. Now, what is this leaf plant called?
So this one that you're feeding him is Brazilian pepper.
Brazilian pepper.
So, and they'll get different types of branches and leaves.
There you.
Now, they've all got their unique spot patterns. Some of them are different kind of shades or colors of brown. And then you can also tell the males from the females because the males will get taller and they're going to weigh more.
Whoop, there went that branch. They weigh, yeah, they're bigger.
Even their ossicones, which are those fur-covered horns on their head, the males generally tend to have kind of thicker ones, and females will have kind of smaller, little petite horns. So giraffes are actually going through what we refer to as a silent extinction. And that means that, you know, essentially what that comes down to is when we see giraffes, especially under human care, or photos of them in the wild, we kind of just view giraffes as a single species, which they're actually different subspecies and species of giraffe. So when you start to look at them as those unique species, you'll start to see that those numbers are actually in decline. So different types or species and subspecies of giraffes are actually declining or are threatened in some way in the wild. So as we look at those different species of giraffes, we'll notice that decline and see that they're declining, you know, in those regions. They're losing habitat, which being that they eat so much food every day, they do need quite a bit of habitat to sustain them.
Right.
Oh, hi, Kimberlina came over here.
Oh, good.
Hi,
Where do we
Kim.
go on this side?
That's it? You just wanted to sample what we had, or are you coming back for
Oh,
more?
I have someone on my side still looking for more. Very politely.
Said I'll wait my turn.
I was waiting for you to put your nose in here. Oh, something spooked her.
Said I don't know about those cameras.
Look at her. Oh, she wants to come around. Come
But
around.
it's kind of interesting what Patrick said, because it's true that they are, you know, they notice change. They notice things that are different.
They notice change. Yeah. Oh, I know you want that. Shoot, I want to give it here. Oh well, sorry, Kimberly.
You can see if she'll finish this one.
Here,
She might.
here.
Or he
Come
might
on.
take it. You never know.
Come on. She's like, I just am not sure. Look at her. Oh. And their markings. Look at the markings.
So beautiful, so unique. So we were actually fortunate to be able to send a couple staff members a few years ago to go help with giraffe conservation efforts in Africa.
Really?
So they went out to go assist GCF, which is the Giraffe Conservation Foundation. We work closely with them to go, you know, out in the field in Kenya, I believe it was.
Wow.
Or Namibia. We've done a couple conservation projects in Africa with the Great Grevy Zebra Rally with GCF, and then of course Dr. Tina, who co-founded a conservation site in Sierra Leone for chimpanzees. So, you know, anything we can do to just help the conservation of these animals, and again, just connect people to them.
That's fantastic. And to have this right here, so close to those of us who live here, you know, again, and I bet people travel here from all over, right? Yeah. So we're back from safari. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'd like to thank Haley for telling us all about the animals. And again, you'll know we had masks on because we're still being very careful because of the COVID, but because we're outside and distance now, we could take the mask off trips. And again, but the park for drive-through is open.
It is
so
open.
You can come out and go through the park safely in your own vehicle.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you, Haley.
My pleasure.
And have a great day. Perfect, beautiful day for this.
Beautiful day for a safari. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information about Luke's Storybook Adventures and my virtual speaking engagements for schools, click the link to my website in the description or email me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. If this is your first time to my site, tap the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. and tap the next video now.